Picture this. You wake up, joints aching just a little more than yesterday, your legs feeling like they've aged a decade overnight. You shuffle into the kitchen, reach for your favorite coffee, and take that first comforting sip. The taste is familiar. The warmth is soothing. You think you're starting your day right. But what if I told you, for millions of people over 60, that innocent cup could be silently robbing you of energy, stiffening your joints, and even accelerating muscle loss, without you ever connecting the dots? You see, after 60, your body doesn't process caffeine, acidity, and certain coffee compounds the same way it did at 40. Your kidneys filter slower, your bones lose calcium faster, and your muscles recover more slowly from everyday stress. The coffee that once gave you a clean boost now lingers in your system, spiking stress hormones, draining hydration, and feeding inflammation in your joints and soft tissues. And here's the scariest part. The coffees that are most dangerous for seniors are not the ones you'd expect. In fact, the number one worst coffee on our list is a type many people think is the healthiest choice, which is exactly why it's quietly harming so many older adults. I know coffee feels sacred. It's the ritual that gets you moving, the little joy you look forward to. But when you're over 60, one wrong choice in your cup can mean the difference between feeling light and mobile or waking up every day feeling heavier, slower, and more fragile than you should. The truth is, every sip is either helping you maintain your muscle strength, balance, and memory, or pushing you closer to frailty, fatigue, and the kind of slow decline that steals years from your independence. And the most heartbreaking part? Most seniors never realize what's happening until their doctor delivers the bad news, when the damage is already in motion. That's why today, I'm not just going to show you the 4 coffees you should never drink after 60. I'm also going to give you 4 healthy brews that can protect your joints, support your heart, and even help you feel decades younger. Because it's not about giving up coffee. It's about upgrading it so that your favorite drink becomes a shield, not a weapon. And I have to say this. If you're over 60 and you don't know which coffees fall into the never category, there's a good chance you're drinking at least one of them every week. That means this video could be the turning point between losing mobility over the next decade or keeping your strength, balance, and independence into your 80s and beyond. So before you take your next sip, stay with me, because the countdown starts at a moment, and when we get to number 1 on the never list, you'll never look at your morning coffee the same way again. Now, let's be clear, I'm not here to demonize coffee. In fact, coffee has been linked to better brain alertness, improved mood, and even lower risk of certain diseases, if it's the right kind, in the right amount for the right body. The problem is, your body at 60, 70, or beyond is not the same as it was at 40. Your liver processes caffeine more slowly. Your bones can't afford the extra calcium loss from overly acidic brews. Your blood pressure reacts faster to certain worsen additives. And what's more, the dehydration effect of coffee can hit harder when your body's natural water reserves are already low with age. What this means is simple. The harmless coffee you've been drinking for decades could be undermining your joints, your heart, and your energy quietly day by day. So in a moment, we'll count down from the least harmful to the absolute worst coffee for anyone over 60. And then we'll turn the tables with 4 brews that can help you feel lighter on your feet, steadier in your step, and younger in your mornings. Let's start with coffee number 4. Let's start with one that might seem harmless, even fun. You know those coffees you buy with a splash of hazelnut, vanilla, caramel, or seasonal flavors like pumpkin spice. Or the ones you make at home by adding flavored liquid creamers. For many seniors, this is a small indulgence that makes coffee feel special. But after 60, these flavored coffees can quietly sabotage your health in ways most people never suspect. Here's the problem. Flavored coffee creamers are often loaded with hidden sugars, unhealthy fats, and chemical additives that have nothing to do with coffee beans. Even the sugar-free, Ones can contain artificial sweeteners like sucralose or aspartame, which have been linked in studies to gut microbiome disruption, insulin resistance, and increased cravings for sweets. And when your metabolism is already slower with age, these blood sugar swings are harder to recover from, leading to more fatigue, weight gain around the belly, and even higher inflammation in your joints. Many creamers also use partially hydrogenated oils, a source of trans fats, to create that smooth, creamy mouthfeel. Trans fats are notorious for clogging arteries and raising bad cholesterol. For someone over 60, where heart disease risk is already higher, every sip adds to a slow-moving cardiovascular time bomb. Then there's the issue of chemical flavorings. French vanilla isn't coming from a vanilla bean. It's usually derived from synthetic compounds that your liver has to process, and your liver's detox capacity naturally decreases with age. Over time, this can add to liver strain and reduce your body's efficiency in clearing out other toxins. Now, some seniors might say, but I only use a little. Unfortunately, the health impact doesn't just come from the sugar or the fat. It's the daily repetition. One coffee with creamer every day for years is the equivalent of adding hundreds of extra grams of sugar and dozens of grams of unhealthy fats to your diet each month. That constant drip feed of inflammation can worsen arthritis, slow down healing from minor injuries, and sap your energy without you realizing the connection. What makes this even trickier is the illusion of moderation. Many older adults believe that if they avoid pastries or desserts, their sugar intake is low, without realizing that their morning coffee is functioning as dessert in disguise. If you're over 60 and want to protect your joints, arteries, and blood sugar, the best move is to ditch flavored creamers entirely. If you need flavor, use cinnamon, pure vanilla extract, or unsweetened almond milk. These give a pleasant taste without the inflammatory baggage. So yes, flavored coffee creamers might look innocent in your fridge door, but for someone aiming to feel strong, steady, and sharp into their 70s and 80s, this is one habit worth breaking today. For many people, a strong, dark roast coffee feels like the real deal. That deep, bold flavor, almost smoky in aroma, can make a morning feel richer and more satisfying. But for those over 60, this kind of coffee, especially when brewed extra strong, can be more damaging than energizing. First, let's talk about acidity. Dark roast coffee beans naturally contain lower chlorogenic acids than light roasts, but when brewed strong or over-roasted, they still deliver a potent acidic punch. This acidity can irritate the stomach lining and worsen acid reflux, something that affects more than 40% of older adults according to gastroenterology studies. And acid reflux isn't just uncomfortable. Over time, it can lead to chronic inflammation in the esophagus and make eating less pleasant, which can lead to poor nutrition. Second, there's a bone health connection. Coffee's acidity, combined with high caffeine content, can increase urinary calcium loss. For someone over 60, when bone density is already decreasing naturally, this accelerates the risk of osteoporosis and fractures. Every extra milligram of calcium loss matters, especially for women post-menopause and men over 70. Third, dark roasts often contain higher concentrations of certain compounds that form during the roasting process, such as acrylamide. While acrylamide levels vary widely depending on the bean and roast method, this chemical has been classified as a potential carcinogen in animal studies. Although the risk to humans from coffee alone is still debated, cumulative exposure over decades matters more as your body's ability to repair DNA damage slows with age. Another subtle but important issue is how strong coffee impacts cortisol, your stress hormone. A heavy, bold cup first thing in the morning can cause a significant spike in cortisol, especially if drunk on an empty stomach. For seniors, whose adrenal response may already be more sensitive, that spike can lead to mid-morning crashes, shakiness, and a sense of fatigue that ironically sends you back for another cup. This cycle of peaks and crashes doesn't just hurt energy levels. It can also disrupt sleep quality at night, even if the coffee was consumed in the morning. Now, you might be wondering, but don't dark roasts have less caffeine than light roasts? Technically, yes. Per scoop, a dark roast has slightly less caffeine. But most people compensate by using more coffee grounds per brew to achieve that rich taste, which can offset the difference and actually deliver more caffeine overall. If you love the robust taste of coffee but want to protect your digestion, bones, and hormone balance, the best alternative is a medium roast with smooth profile. You can also try a cold brew method, which naturally lowers acidity while keeping flavor intact. The bottom line, dark, overly acidic coffee might taste like a power-up, but after 60, it's often just quietly eroding your health from the inside out. For many seniors, instant coffee is a daily convenience. No brewing, no mess. Just pour the powder into hot water and you're ready to go. It's affordable, quick, and seems harmless. But for those over 60, the kind of instant coffee that comes in flavored or 3-in-1 packets can be one of the sneakiest health traps hiding in plain sight. First, we need to understand what's inside these sachets. Instant coffee packets, especially those marketed as ready to drink, with cream and sugar already mixed in, often contain non-dairy creamers loaded with hydrogenated vegetable oils, a hidden source of trans fats. Even in small amounts, trans fats are notorious for raising LDL cholesterol and increasing the risk of heart disease. And once you're past 60, your cardiovascular system is already more vulnerable to damage from these fats. Next, these packets are often packed with refined sugars or high-fructose corn syrup solids to improve taste and mouthfeel. This means each innocent cup can deliver 10 to 20 grams of added sugar, almost half of the daily recommended limit for seniors in a single drink. And because it's in liquid form, it hits your bloodstream fast, spiking blood sugar and insulin levels. Over time, this repeated spike crash cycle increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, worsens inflammation in the joints, and contributes to abdominal weight gain. And here's a fact most people don't realize. Instant coffee often has higher levels of acrylamide than brewed coffee. Acrylamide forms during the high-temperature roasting process, but instant coffee powder tends to concentrate even more. While the occasional exposure isn't a crisis, having it every day for years adds up, especially when your body's detox systems naturally slow with age. There's also the issue of flavor enhancers and artificial stabilizers. Many of these additives aren't inherently toxic, but they're foreign chemicals your liver still has to process. And with age, the liver's enzyme production slows, meaning detoxification is less efficient. This can leave you more susceptible to the cumulative effects of long-term chemical exposure. Finally, instant coffee packets often contain lower-quality beans to begin with, beans that may have higher levels of mycotoxins, mold toxins. While good brands test for and minimize this, many budget options sold globally do not. Mycotoxins have been linked to fatigue, brain fog, and immune suppression, which can be particularly problematic for seniors who need every bit of resilience to stay active and healthy. If you're over 60, a far better option is to brew fresh coffee from whole beans, or at least use high-quality freeze-dried pure coffee granules with no added creamers, sugars, or flavorings. Yes, it's a tiny bit more effort, but the payoff in protecting your heart, metabolism, and long-term vitality is huge. The takeaway? That quick and easy cup might be costing you far more in health than it saved you in time. You might think the worst coffee for seniors is the strongest, blackest brew. But in reality, the most dangerous coffee you can drink after 60 is often the sweetest one. Those iced coffee treats from big coffee chains are loaded with sugar, syrups, and whipped cream. Here's why they're such a health trap. First, let's talk sugar load. A typical large iced caramel coffee with whipped cream from a chain cafe can pack 50 to 70 grams of sugar. That's more than twice the maximum daily sugar limit recommended for adults over 60 by the American Heart Association. Excess sugar spikes your blood glucose quickly, but for seniors, those spikes are more dangerous. They cause rapid insulin surges that can lead to energy crashes, inflammation in the joints, and over time, insulin resistance, a major risk factor for type 2 diabetes. Second, there's a hidden fat and calorie problem. Many of these drinks contain heavy cream or full-fat milk, plus sugary syrups. One Venti-sized blended iced coffee can easily hit 500 to 600 calories, almost a third of an average senior's daily calorie needs, without providing any real nutrition. Over time, this kind of calorie surplus can contribute to weight gain, which puts extra stress on your knees, hips, and spine. Third, the caffeine content in these drinks is deceptively high. Because they often use espresso shots mixed into a base, you could be looking at 300 plus mg of caffeine in a single cup. That much caffeine can trigger heart palpitations, raise blood pressure, and disturb your sleep quality, which is already more fragile after 60. Poor sleep means slower muscle recovery, more inflammation, and a higher risk of cognitive decline. And here's the kicker. Most people think iced coffee is a lighter option compared to a hot mocha or latte, so they order it more often. But when you're drinking liquid sugar in large amounts, you're essentially fast-tracking joint inflammation and muscle breakdown without realizing it. Even worse, the cold and sweet profile can trick your brain into thinking you're not drinking something unhealthy, so it becomes a daily habit. But every day you indulge, you're quietly increasing the strain on your cardiovascular system, accelerating skin aging through glycation, and feeding the low-grade inflammation linked to arthritis and swelling in the legs. Better alternative? If you love the refreshment of iced coffee, make it at home. Brew strong coffee, chill it, and serve it over ice with unsweetened almond milk or oat milk, and just a touch of cinnamon or vanilla extract for flavor. You'll still get the cool, smooth drink you crave, but without the sugar spikes, the calorie overload, or the inflammation cascade. So if you're over 60 and you've been treating yourself to one of these sugar bomb iced coffees every week, it might be time to reconsider. Because every sip is like a small withdrawal from your long-term health bank, and one day you may find the account empty. If the earlier coffees on our worst list were the villains of your daily routine, this one is a quiet hero, the kind that doesn't need flashy marketing, because its benefits speak for themselves. Organic light roast Arabica, especially when grown at high altitude, can be a true ally for seniors over 60. And no, this isn't just coffee snob talk. There's real science here. Let's start with the organic part. When coffee is conventionally grown, it's often one of the most heavily sprayed crops in the world. Pesticides, fungicides, and synthetic fertilizers all leave residue. And as we age, our liver and kidneys, the main detox organs, don't work quite as efficiently as they once did. Organic coffee ensures you're not adding to your body's chemical burden every single morning. Think of it as giving your liver a little bow of respect before you even take your first sip. Now, light roast, this part often surprises people. Many think darker roasts are stronger and therefore better for energy. But the truth? Light roast coffee actually has more antioxidants and a slightly higher caffeine content, because it's roasted for less time. The longer beans are roasted, the more those delicate polyphenol, compounds that fight inflammation and support brain health, are broken down. For seniors, those antioxidants can help protect blood vessels, improve circulation, and reduce oxidative stress, all of which contribute to healthier joints, sharper memory, and even more stable energy throughout the day. And here's where high altitude comes in. Coffee grown at elevations above 3,000 feet matures more slowly, developing denser beans. Denser beans mean richer flavor and higher concentrations of beneficial compounds, without the burnt or bitter taste that comes from over-roasting. High-altitude Arabica tends to be naturally smoother and lower in acidity, which is great news if you have a sensitive stomach or acid reflux. That's a common concern for seniors who love coffee but hate the digestive backlash. Another subtle benefit: light roast Arabica contains more chlorogenic acid than darker roasts. This compound has been studied for its role in regulating blood sugar, supporting heart health, and even aiding weight management, issues that become more important after 60. A 2019 meta-analysis in Nutrients found that chlorogenic acid can improve glucose metabolism and reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, which is a growing concern in older adults. Now, how should you drink it for the best effect? If possible, skip the sugar and avoid artificial creamers. Instead, try adding a splash of unsweetened almond milk or a teaspoon of collagen powder. This not only keeps your coffee anti-inflammatory, but also supports skin elasticity and joint health. A small tweak that turns your morning cup into a stealthy health tonic. But perhaps the biggest reason this coffee makes the best list is that it delivers a steady, smooth lift without the roller coaster crash. Seniors often find that the jittery spikes from low-quality or over-roasted coffee can trigger anxiety, palpitations, or even disrupt sleep later on. Organic high-altitude light roast Arabica, brewed properly, gives you a gentle energy curve that lets you stay focused and alert without the midday crash. So, while most people rush for the darkest roast on the supermarket shelf, you'll know the quiet secret: that sometimes lighter really is better. And in this case, lighter can also mean healthier. If you've always assumed that darker, stronger coffee means better for your health, here's something that might surprise you, especially after 60. Light roast Arabica coffee, though gentler on the palate and stomach, actually retains more of the naturally occurring antioxidants polyphenol and chlorogenic acid than darker roasts. And those compounds? They are exactly what your aging heart, brain, and cells crave for protection. The difference lies in the roasting process. Dark roasting burns off more of these delicate compounds, while light roasting preserves them. For seniors, this means you're not only getting a smoother, less acidic cup, but also more protective nutrients that help fight inflammation, protect blood vessels, and reduce oxidative stress, the very stress that accelerates cognitive decline and heart disease. A 2020 meta-analysis published in Nutrients found that coffee's polyphenol are directly associated with lower rates of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, particularly in older adults. The researchers pointed out that light roast coffee had a higher retention of these compounds compared to medium or dark roasts. That means each sip of light roast Arabica is delivering a more potent brain shield than you might realize. But the benefits don't stop at your brain. The chlorogenic acids in light roast coffee also help regulate blood sugar, something crucial for seniors trying to avoid or manage type 2 diabetes. High blood sugar damages your blood vessels and nerves over time, contributing to the very leg weakness, tingling, and fatigue that many seniors think are just part of aging. And let's talk heart health. After 60, your arteries lose flexibility, making you more prone to high blood pressure and heart disease. The antioxidants in light roast Arabica coffee help protect your artery walls from inflammation and stiffening, keeping blood flowing more easily. For seniors who worry about coffee's effect on blood pressure, studies show that moderate consumption of Arabica is far less likely to cause spikes compared to Robusta or heavily caffeinated brews, thanks to its naturally lower caffeine content. There's also a gentler digestive profile. Many seniors cut down on coffee because it upsets their stomach or worsens acid reflux. Light roast Arabica, when brewed properly, think pour over or French press, tends to be less irritating due to its smoother acidity and lower bitterness. This allows you to enjoy coffee without trading comfort for flavor. Now, here's where the emotional truth kicks in. If you've been reaching for the cheapest, harshest, over-roasted coffee just out of habit, you might be robbing yourself of one of the easiest daily ways to protect your brain, heart, and circulation. Every cup of overly processed coffee you drink instead of fresh, light roast Arabica is a missed opportunity to give your aging body the gentle yet powerful protection it deserves. A simple swap can make a profound difference. 2 cups of light roast Arabica daily can act like a quiet bodyguard, helping you think more clearly, move with more energy, and age without surrendering to the memory loss, fatigue, and stiffness that steal joy from the golden years. Why risk losing those small pleasures, like remembering your grandchildren's names instantly, or taking a long walk without feeling winded, just because your coffee choice isn't serving you? Tomorrow morning, when you brew your cup, remember this. It's not just coffee. It's daily medicine in disguise, if you choose the right kind. And light roast Arabica might just be your best-kept secret. Cold brew coffee isn't just a trendy drink for hip cafes. It's actually one of the most senior-friendly ways to enjoy coffee, especially if you're over 60 and want the benefits without the drawbacks. This brewing method can make a huge difference in how your body reacts to coffee, and it might just be the secret weapon for seniors who want smoother energy, gentler digestion, and less risk of the dreaded post-coffee crash. The main reason cold brew stands out is the way it's prepared. Instead of brewing quickly with hot water, cold brew is made by steeping coffee grounds in cold water for 12 to 24 hours. This slow extraction method creates a coffee that's naturally lower in acidity, up to 67% less acidic than regular hot brewed coffee, according to some lab tests. Why is this important for seniors? Because as we age, our stomach lining can become more sensitive. High-acid coffee can irritate the digestive tract, leading to heartburn, reflux, or that uncomfortable coffee stomach. Cold brew's lower acidity means you can enjoy coffee without that acidic bite, but the benefits go beyond comfort. The smoother taste of cold brew often means you can drink it black, without loading it up with creamers and sugar to mask bitterness. This is huge, because many seniors unknowingly sabotage the health benefits of coffee by adding extra calories and unhealthy fats. Cold brew's natural smoothness makes it easier to skip the sugar-laden add-ins, helping protect heart health, blood sugar control, and waistline management. Another advantage? Cold brew has a different caffeine profile. Because of the long steeping process, cold brew can be strong, but the caffeine release is gentler and steadier compared to hot coffee. This means you're less likely to get those sudden spikes of jittery energy followed by an afternoon crash. For seniors, stable energy is gold. It helps maintain focus, support balance, and even reduces the risk of that midday drowsiness that can lead to falls. Cold brew also tends to retain more of coffee's natural antioxidants, like chlorogenic acids, because a slow extraction doesn't burn them off. These antioxidants fight inflammation, protect blood vessels, and may even help preserve cognitive function over time. One 2017 study from the University of Georgia found that regular coffee consumption, especially low-acid varieties, was linked to better brain health markers in older adults. If you want to make it at home, it's surprisingly easy. Just mix coarse ground coffee with cold. Filter water in a large jar or pitcher. Let it sit in the fridge for about 16 hours. Strain it through a fine mesh or coffee filter and store the concentrate. You can then dilute it with water or milk to your liking. It lasts for up to a week in the fridge, meaning you can have a ready-to-drink, senior-friendly coffee every morning without the hassle. One quick note. If you have blood pressure concerns or caffeine sensitivity, you can still make cold brew with decaf beans. You'll get the same smooth taste and low acidity without the caffeine load. Just be sure to choose organic, pesticide-free coffee beans whenever possible. Since coffee is one of the most chemically treated crops, cold brew is proof that coffee doesn't have to be harsh on your body to be enjoyable. It's the perfect bridge for seniors who love the ritual of coffee but don't want to digest the discomfort or jittery energy that can come with traditional brewing methods. And while it might seem like a modern invention, it's actually an old brewing method dating back to 17th century Japan, meaning it has stood the test of time. Up next, we'll talk about the #1 best coffee for seniors And I promise, it's not what you're expecting. In fact, most people don't even think of it as coffee, but it might just be the most healing one you can drink. If there were a senior superhero coffee, chicory coffee would wear the cape. And here's the plot twist. It's not even coffee in the traditional sense. Chicory coffee is made from the roasted, ground root of the chicory plant, a cousin of the dandelion. And yet, it's been quietly winning fans among health-conscious seniors for decades. Why? Because it offers nearly all the comforting, rich, roasted flavor of coffee, without the drawbacks that can cause problems for older adults. Let's start with the caffeine factor. Regular coffee often comes with a hefty jolt of caffeine that can spike blood pressure, trigger heart palpitations, or disrupt precious sleep, especially in people over 60, whose bodies process caffeine more slowly. Chicory coffee, on the other hand, is naturally caffeine-free. This means you can enjoy that warm, comforting mug in the morning, or even in the evening, without lying awake at 2 a.m. regretting your choices. For seniors who struggle with insomnia, restless legs, or nighttime bathroom trips, this is a game changer. But chicory coffee isn't just a safe coffee, it's a functional one. It's packed with inulin, a soluble fiber that acts like a prebiotic. This is huge because as we age, gut health tends to decline, slowing digestion, weakening immunity, and even affecting mood and brain health. Inulin feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which helps improve nutrient absorption, reduce inflammation, and support a stronger immune system. Studies have also linked inulin to better blood sugar control, which is especially important for seniors managing type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. Now, let's talk circulation and joint health, two areas where seniors often feel the pinch literally. Chicory contains anti-inflammatory compounds and natural antioxidants that can help keep blood vessels flexible and reduce oxidative stress. That's the kind of quiet, behind-the-scenes protection that keeps your legs from swelling, your joints from stiffening, and your energy from flagging halfway through the day. And here's something even most coffee lovers don't know. Chicory root contains plant polyphenol that have been studied for their liver protective effects. The liver is your body's detox powerhouse, but with age and years of medications, processed foods, or alcohol, it can use all the help it can get. Chicory's antioxidants help reduce liver inflammation and support healthy bioproduction, aiding digestion and fat metabolism. Of course, chicory coffee's rich, slightly nutty flavor makes it easy to love. You can brew it solo for a 100% caffeine-free cup, or mix it with regular coffee to lower your caffeine intake gradually without sacrificing taste. Many New Orleans-style coffees, in fact, are chicory blends, giving you a little bit of tradition along with health benefits. For seniors who've been told to cut back on coffee, but hate the thought of giving it up, chicory is the perfect answer. It's like swapping a reckless, thrill-seeking friend for one who still knows how to have fun, just without getting you in trouble. So, while the worst coffees we discussed earlier might be quietly stealing your health sip by sip, chicory coffee is a quiet protector, restoring your gut, safeguarding your heart, and giving you back your evening peace. And if you think that's reason enough to try it, remember, every cup is not just a drink. It's a daily choice to support your body instead of strain it. Why risk draining your health when a simple swap could give you comfort and longevity? Before you reach for your next cup, just pause for a second and think about what you've learned today. How many mornings, maybe even decades, have you been drinking something you thought was harmless, only to find out it's been quietly working against your joints, your heart, or your energy? It's not your fault. No one told you, but now you know, and that changes everything. The next time you brew your coffee, you have a choice. Keep feeling the aches, the stiffness, the sleepless nights, or start building the kind of body that lets you walk without pain, live without fear, and wake up feeling alive. That choice starts today, because the longer you wait, the more your muscles, bones, and circulation quietly decline in the background. And once it's gone, you can't simply pour it back in like a cup of coffee. If we disappeared tomorrow, would you notice? Every video we make takes over 30 hours. No scriptwriter, no sponsor, no $1 million studio. Just real research, real heart, for people who've been overlooked. So if this helped you, if you learned what your doctor rushed past, if you felt heard, don't be the silent viewer. Be the reason we're still here tomorrow. Subscribe. And remember, this message has already found you, but there are other seniors who would also immensely benefit from this hidden knowledge. How can you help us reach them with this message? Simply by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. That way YouTube shows it to more seniors and others who desperately need this message. Be the reason someone else finds this gem today. Just like you did. Tap the like button. Hit subscribe. Thank you.